Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly oracle card reading. And today I'm using the magical messages from the Fairies oracle card deck. Okay, so we'll start with the first card. And the first card is going to represent Monday and Tuesday of this upcoming week. Okay, so we've got travel. Ooh, I like this card. Okay. Okay, so we've got the travel card, and it says, an upcoming trip proves to be life-changing in positive ways. So this could mean a few different things. The first thing it could mean is like an actual literal trip, like you're going to be going somewhere this week. Somewhere that's going to have a lot of significance for you, and something that's going to create some kind of change. So it might be a shift in thinking, or you might meet someone who is going to play a big role in helping you create change in your life. And then the other message I'm getting is that it's not so much literal travel, but this is about traveling from one kind of way of looking at things and one way of, interacting with life to a much more enlightened, kind of freer, more positive way of living. And I think this is particularly true if you've been having dreams lately about traveling. So if you've been having dreams where you're like on a bus or a train, or you're at the airport or getting on a plane, the symbolism here, the deeper meaning of that is it could mean that you're making a sort of a spiritual trip, or a spiritual journey where you're not necessarily ascending, but you're progressing along your spiritual path in terms of, the lessons that you're learning, and, moving from one way of doing things into a more, I want to say like a higher vibration of living, and a much more enlightened way of interacting with life. So I hope that didn't sound too out there and difficult to understand. I'm just going to look at this card more closely because they're definitely like, I'm just looking at the fairy who, she seems to be like lighting candles on the ends of the antlers. It feels like there's some kind of celebration of a certain milestone here. So some of you might be celebrating a birthday at the beginning of the week, or an anniversary, or celebrating something. So I want to move on to the second card, and this card represents the middle of the week. So Wednesday, Thursday-ish. And it says, express your individuality. Allow your true self to shine because you're awesome. Well, there you go. So this is all about being authentic, being yourself, and not falling into the trap of sort of covering up your real self in order to make yourself more, acceptable to others. The message here is that you really step into your power when you are able to totally, be yourself, be an individual, and, say what's on your mind, dress however you want to, and, don't hold back and don't try to hide parts of yourself. Because I think a lot of us, we don't want to offend people, or we want to be more acceptable, or we don't want to rock the boat, and so we hide, certain parts of ourselves. And it could just be, you don't tell people that you have a certain hobby or interest, or, you make an effort to dress more conservatively than you would like to, or you maybe don't disagree with people when you really want to. You're trying to sort of kind of tamper down your real personality. So the message here is that the middle of the week particularly is a really safe time for you to be just who you are, and that in effect is going to be, you're going to be so much more powerful in your life if you just act authentically, which, I mean, easier said than done, but I get the sense that if you have something like a job interview, or you're meeting someone for the first time and you're worried about, the impression that you're going to make, or you're going to a party where you don't know many people or whatever, and you might be tempted to, not fully express yourself. And the message here is that it's okay for you to fully express yourself. The outcome is going to be much more positive if you do that. So moving on to the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we've got spring. And it says, your desires fully manifest as the flowers begin to bloom. So this is awesome because spring is almost here. And the message is that if there's something that you've been wanting and something you've been trying to manifest and focusing on and desiring, that it's going to manifest itself in the spring, which is good because it is almost spring. And I'm really excited about this because I've been wanting to get a house for a really, really long time and nothing's come up. And so I've been having my fingers crossed that this spring is going to be the time that I'm going to be able to get my house. But coming back to this card, there's a sense of transformation here, and I say that because I'm looking at the butterfly and the ray of light. There's definitely a sense of transformation. I feel like this spring for so many of us is going to be a time of not just transformation, but starting new projects. And of course, spring is, it has that kind of energy of newness, and all the flowers and stuff are coming up. But this spring is definitely a time to start new projects, big projects actually, that you might have been putting off for a while because you haven't felt ready. So if there's like an idea or something that you've had that you've been kind of mulling over for the past year or few months, but you've never felt like, you had all the tools to pursue it, or you just didn't feel ready, this spring is an awesome time to start that project. Whether it's like a book that you're wanting to write, or even going back to school or signing up for a class or something, the spring is a really good time. And again, like I said, this spring is going to be about transformation. But of course, I'm talking about the spring, and this card represents the weekend. So how does that apply to the weekend? I feel like there's going to be sort of seeds that you come across this weekend that are going to lead into this bigger theme of transformation and manifestation of your desires. So it could be that this weekend you take some baby steps towards making some of your dreams happen. You might meet someone, or you get an idea, or something, you come across something, but there's definitely this sense that this weekend you're going to be encountering little tiny seeds of hope and things that are going to grow into something much bigger. So keep your eyes peeled this weekend. You may not notice it. It might not jump out at you, but keep your eyes peeled. And I just want to take a quick step back and look at all of these cards together. And I feel like the cards, when I read them together, I feel like this is kind of a message for kind of how to live your life in general. We've got the travel card at the beginning, which I think is sort of reiterating the fact that you're on a journey, you're on a spiritual journey, and the more that you can express your individuality and just be your true self, the easier that journey is going to be. It might not feel that way all the time, but generally speaking, it's going to be much easier when you're authentic and true to yourself. And then of course we're leading up to the spring. So I think big things are happening this spring, a lot of changes, a lot of transformation. And I just see with the colors, we've got purple, we've got teal, these are sort of darker colors, and then spring is this nice bright yellowy sunshiny color. So it feels like there is like this kind of shift in energy. It might even be like a shift from sort of being introverted and working on ourselves in an introverted way to moving into the weekend where we have this more extroverted color, which is more about openness and sharing and action. So that has been your oracle card reading for this week, and please feel free in the comments to share, if you've had any insights yourself, if you see anything jumping out at you in the cards, please feel free to share that in the comments below. I love reading your interpretations of the cards. And once again, my name is Kate. I'm from dailytarotgirl.com, and thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely week.